Hello everyone, welcome to Business Education and Research. This video presents the limitations of stratified random sampling and the effective strategies to overcome its limitations. Stratified random sampling is a widely used method in survey research designed to ensure representation from various subgroups within a population. By dividing the population into strata based on certain characteristics such as age, gender, or income level, researchers aim to capture the diversity of the population more effectively. However, like any other sampling method, it comes with its own set of limitations that can affect the validity and generalizability of the study findings. This video discusses and explores the limitations of stratified random sampling and suggests strategies to overcome them. By addressing these limitations, researchers can enhance the reliability and accuracy of their study results, ultimately contributing to more robust and meaningful conclusions. Stratified random sampling necessitates a comprehensive understanding of different subgroups within the population. This involves identifying relevant characteristics that define each subgroup, which can be a complex task due to the diversity and variability within the population. After identifying relevant subgroups, the next challenge is the precise creation of strata, which are distinct layers within the population that share common characteristics. This step requires careful consideration to ensure that each stratum is mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive. Determining the appropriate sample size for each stratum adds another layer of complexity. This involves allocating the sample in a way that is proportional to the size of each stratum within the overall population, which requires accurate population data and mathematical precision. In some cases, subgroups may overlap or not be clearly defined, making it challenging to assign individuals to a single stratum. This ambiguity can complicate the sampling process and requires additional criteria or methods to resolve. The main goal of stratified random sampling is to improve representativeness and reduce sampling bias. However, achieving this goal can be complex, as it involves ensuring that each stratum is adequately and fairly represented in the sample, which requires careful planning and execution. Inaccurate stratification can occur when strata are not defined accurately, reflecting misunderstanding or lack of clarity about the key characteristics of the population. This can result in members being grouped incorrectly, leading to strata that do not accurately represent the underlying population segments. When population members possess characteristics that could place them in multiple strata, it creates a risk of misstratification. This overlap can cause confusion about which stratum a member belongs to, potentially resulting in their placement in an inappropriate stratum. In dynamic populations, where characteristics of members change over time, there is a risk of misstratification if the sampling process does not account for these changes. Members who initially fit into one stratum might later be more suited for another, but are not reclassified. If the criteria used for creating strata are complex or ambiguous, it can lead to errors in classifying members into correct stratum. This complexity can stem from having too many variables or poorly defined categories, making it difficult to accurately assign members. Misstratification can significantly affect the validity of the sampling results. By placing members in the wrong stratum, the sample may become less representative of the population, increasing sampling bias and potentially leading to misleading conclusions about the population. Stratified random sampling requires an in-depth analysis of the population to identify distinct strata. This process can be time-consuming and may require additional resources, as it involves gathering and analyzing data to understand various characteristics and how they divide the population. The development of strata often necessitates specialized knowledge or expertise, particularly in statistics or the field of being studied. Hiring experts or training staff for this task adds to the cost and time required for the sampling process. Designing stratified sampling methodology is generally more complex than simple random sampling. This complexity can lead to increased time in planning and executing the sampling process, particularly in ensuring that each stratum is appropriately represented. Once strata are defined, collecting data from each stratum can be more costly than other sampling methods. This is because it may require different techniques or tools to reach various segments of the population, especially if strata are geographically or demographically dispersed. In some cases, to achieve the desired level of accuracy and representativeness, stratified random sampling may require larger overall sample sizes than simple random sampling. This increase in sample size can escalate cost and extend the time needed for data collection and analysis. Stratified random sampling demands extensive data about the population to accurately define strata. This includes demographic, geographic, socioeconomic, or other relevant characteristics. Lack of comprehensive data can hinder the formation of appropriate and representative strata. In many cases, obtaining the necessary detailed data for creating strata can be challenging. This could be due to privacy concerns, data protection laws, or simply the unavailability of detailed records, making it difficult to access the required level of data. The effectiveness of stratified random sampling is highly dependent on the accuracy and current relevance of data used. Outdated or incorrect data can lead to the formation of inappropriate strata, affecting the overall quality and reliability of the sampling results. If existing data is insufficient, collecting the required detailed data can be a costly and time-consuming process. This may involve conducting preliminary surveys or research to gather the necessary information, adding to the overall resource requirements of the sampling process. The process of analyzing available data and segmenting the population into strata requires a high level of expertise in data analysis and interpretation. This often necessitates the involvement of skilled statisticians or data analysts, which can be resource-intensive aspects of the sampling methodology. If the allocation of sample sizes to different strata is not accurately proportional to their presence in the population, it can lead to overrepresentation of the certain data. This disproportionately skews the sample towards these overrepresented groups, compromising the representativeness of the overall sample. The risk of overrepresentation is heightened in situations where strata vary significantly in size. Larger strata might be given more weight than their actual proportion in the population, especially if the sampling strategy does not carefully account for these size differences. The subjective nature of defining strata can inadvertently lead to overrepresentation. If strata are formed based on biased or subjective criteria, it can result in an uneven distribution of the population within the sample, favoring certain groups over others. Sampling error is inherent in any statistical sampling method, but in stratified random sampling, errors in one stratum can disproportionately affect the entire sample population. If one or more strata are overrepresented due to sampling error, it can distort the results and lead to incorrect conclusions about the entire population. In populations where certain subgroups are small or rare, there is a risk of inadvertently overrepresenting these groups in an effort to ensure their inclusion. Balancing the need for representation of smaller groups with the overall proportionality of the sample can be a complex and challenging aspects of stratified random sampling. So far, we have discussed the limitations of stratified random sampling. Now let us see how to overcome the limitations. Utilize advanced data analysis techniques. Employ advanced statistical techniques to identify population subgroups accurately. This may involve clustering algorithms, factor analysis, or other data-driven approaches to better understand the characteristics of defining each subgroup. Invest time and effort into refining the process of creating strata to ensure they are both mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive. Consider consulting subject matter experts or conducting pilot studies to validate the effectiveness of stratum definitions. Use sophisticated sampling algorithms to optimize the proportionate allocation of sample sizes to each stratum. This may involve iterative process, that is repeating process, that account for population size variations and ensure that each subgroup is adequately represented in the final sample. Develop clear guidelines and additional criteria to handle cases of overlapping or ambiguous subgroups. This could involve defining priority rules or using supplementary information to accurately assign individuals to the most appropriate stratum. Continuously monitor and update strata definitions to account for changes in population characteristics over time. Implement mechanism for reclassification or reallocation of individuals to ensure the ongoing accuracy and relevance of the sampling framework. Streamline the criteria used for stratification to reduce complexity and ambiguity. Focus on key variables that effectively differentiate population subgroups while minimizing the risk of misclassification. Implement robust validation procedures to identify and correct instances of misstratification. This could involve sensitivity analysis, cross-validation techniques, or post-stratification adjustments to mitigate the impact of misclassification errors. Invest in advanced population analysis techniques to streamline the process of identifying distinct strata. Utilize data visualization tools, machine learning algorithms, or geographic information systems to gain deeper insights into population characteristics and segmentation. Seek assistance from external experts or consulting firms with specialized knowledge in sampling methodology and population analysis. Collaborate with statisticians, demographers, or social scientists to optimize the design and execution of stratified random sampling process. Conduct simulation studies and sensitivity analysis to assess the robustness of implementing design against various scenarios and assumptions. This proactive approach can help identify potential weaknesses and inform adjustments to enhance the reliability and validity of the sampling process. By implementing the strategies that we have discussed so far, researchers can effectively address the limitations of stratified random sampling and improve the accuracy, representativeness, and reliability of their study findings.